Hello everyone, I am back with the topic of weathering and denudation for class 9, chapter number 9. So we were discussing about the chemical weathering, the four main factors which are responsible for the chemical weathering. We already discussed the first three parts: hydration, carbonation and oxidation. And the fourth one is solution. Solution: when the rainwater reacts with the mineral present in the rock and it dissolves them. When it steeps below the ground and through joints, gaps and creeps, it further dissolves the soluble minerals by forming a solution and separates the insoluble minerals and causing decomposition of rock. Decomposition: they are decomposing the particles of rock and afterward the disintegration takes place. Now the third part, the biological weathering or the biotic weathering. It happens due to the human factor or plant factors. Human, plants and animals are responsible for this type of weathering. Human activities, like when we have to construct dam, we have to broken out that particular place, or when we are constructing anything on the earth surface, we are just harming the areas of nature. So the plants, firstly the roots of plants which grow into the creeps and crevices in search of water or nourishment, they exert great pressure on the rocks and breaking them. So you already seen that sometimes the plants which are growing on the earth surface, on the rock area, they are creating gaps on the rock bed, and this is responsible for the breaking of rocks. Sometimes the roots of plants produce carbonic acid also, so you can say that it is the chemical weathering activity, and they are decomposing the earth surface or the rock surface. Next, the animals, they are making burrows and causing breaking up of rocks. So animals are responsible by making burrows in the rock bed. They can loosening or weakening the rocks and expose them to other agents of weathering. Then human activities like road construction, mining, farming, deforestation, all these are the causes of weathering. Now the next thing is effects of weathering. There are two types of effects. First one, constructive effect, and the next one is destructive effect. First one, constructive effect. Weathering leads to the soil formation. This is the first basic advantage of weathering. We are getting fertile soil when weathering takes place. Next is the weathering process leads to the explosion of new minerals which becomes easy to exploit it, and chemical weathering gives rise to many new minerals having economic value. So we are getting new type of minerals when weathering takes place. Next is weathering may provide new landscape or the karst type topography, or you can say that the new kind of landforms are formed when weathering takes place. Next is weathering may provide building materials like cement, limestone. We are getting different types of mineral when weathering happen. Next, destructive effect. So first destructive effect is it may cause extensive soil erosion which may affect agriculture. Next, landslide may cause havoc in the mountainous area. We are getting very dangerous condition when landslide happen, and landslide happen when soil particles are loosened from the rock surface. Then chemical weathering may dissolve the soluble components of soil. This may cause the soils to become infertile and may affect farming activities. Next thing, the denudation, weathering, erosion and transportation and deposition. We will not do during this term, so this is just deduct from your syllabus. Work of river is also not there. Now you have to do the stages of river course. In stages, they have given 3 stages of river. First one, young stage, that is the upper course. Mature stage, that is the middle course. Third one, old stage or the lower course. In this, they have given young stages: V-shaped valley, gorges, canyons, waterfall, rapids, cascades. They have given the definition for all these parts. You have to go through it. If you will not get any proper definition for this, or you will get any query, you can ask me. The next thing is the work of wind. This is also not the part of your syllabus for this term. The next thing we have to do is the landforms associated with wind erosion. In this, they have given wind erosion features. First one, mushroom rocks or the rock pedestals, deflation hollows. Mushrooms rocks, which are in the arid or dry regions, when the winds strike against the surface of projecting rocks, eroded layers are leading to the isolated boulders of hard rocks standing above the level of their surrounding, and the base of the rock is eroded in this manner, resemblance as a mushroom. They are looking like mushroom, but it is not like mushroom, just the base part is eroded from the side area, so it is looking like a mushroom rock. Then deflation hollows. Deflation hollows, they have given one picture for deflation hollows like this, and the figure 9.24, you can see figure 9.24 on page number 83. Deflation hollows in western USA, they have given example. These are the areas which are lowering the ground surface and unconsolidated materials giving rise to large depositions called deflation hollows. They are found in the non-mountainous regions, and they are found in the they are example of wind erosion causing deflations. Deflations are the gaps which are happening due to the wind erosion. Now, the landforms of wind deposition in deserts are sand dunes, Barkhan or Bachan. Barkhan or Bachan are sand dunes, but with crescent shape like this. Now, the next thing is C for the longitudinal sand dunes. Longitudinal and sand dunes like this. They have given the longitudinal sand dunes. The crescent parts are occurring, but not in the large form. They are just the waves. In the wave form, they are giving structure in desert area. So this is my whole topic. I hope you understood. If you will get any query, you can ask me through comment section. Thank you very much.